Welcome and good morning. My name is Tom St. Thomas and I'm the lay leader today. I'd like to welcome everyone to the First Parish Unitarian Universalist Church in Bridgewater. I've been a member here for many years. I serve on the committees. That I serve on. What I like most about First Parish is Luella Mann. I told her I was going to say that. But it's true. Luella's been here for a long time. She's steadfast. She's loyal. She's hardworking. She's trustworthy. What's not to like? And she exemplifies the spirit of this congregation in those attributes. So, yeah, what I like about this church is Luella Mann. Excuse me. I'd like to welcome our guest preacher this morning. Let me find my blurb I'm supposed to read. Oh boy, where is it? Huh? I know it's on here somewhere, right? Everybody's helping me. Oh, I see. Okay. Karishma Godfrey. Karishma is a young adult raised in the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Corvallis, Oregon, and a junior studying religion at Wellesley College, where Rachel went. She recently was one of the panelists for the 2021 Sophia Lyons Vaz Lecture and currently serves the Sanctuary Boston as Campus Ministry Coordinator. We welcome you. Thanks for being here with us today. First Parish Bridgewater is a welcoming congregation. We proudly fly the rainbow flag to symbolize our welcome to people of every description. We have a dynamic religious education program which takes place in the lower parish hall during worship. If you are new to First Parish, we hope you enjoy your visit with us. We encourage you to sign the guest book on the table at the rear of the sanctuary. If you wish to receive our monthly newsletter, please be sure to include your email address. If you're joining us online, you can request to be put on our mailing list at our website or in the chat. We invite you to join us for coffee, snacks, and conversation in the upper parish hall following the service. Our service this morning is being hosted via Zoom and recorded for Bridgewater Cable TV, but the camera is turned off during the sharing of joys and sorrows. In case of emergency, please leave the building either through the main sanctuary doors or through the School Street entrance if you need a ramp. You are welcome here. Thank you for joining us. Your presence, whether in person or online, makes a difference. And I have a couple announcements. Last week, James Hayes Bohannon was the lay leader. And he left this in the folder. So I think he leaves one of these wherever he goes. So I don't know if that's part of the announcement or. So one announcement is please kindly sign up for a turn making social hour happen after church. Sign-up sheet is near the coffee pot in the upper parish hall. And this is a message from Lori Lesner. Join us this Wednesday, the 13th, at 6:30 p.m. for a 90 to 120-minute workshop exploring and learning about trans allyship and microaggressions. It's led by Percy Child. This will be online using the church Zoom room. Contact Lori for more details. Does anyone else have an announcement? Bake sale. Oh, yeah. There's a bake sale to benefit the Juneteenth, right? Is that right, Betty? Did I get that right? Juneteenth, which is on June 18th this year. I think it's on the 18th. It's on the Saturday before. All right, you're up, Jenny.
Okay. Another quick announcement. I hope you saw in the weekly. Next week, miraculously, the egg tree will appear, and we encourage everyone to bring blown eggs to hang, all right, so that we can have our tradition of Easter. But now it's, what's the number? Let's play What's the Number, Hadley. Okay, what's the number today? I just wanted to always remind everybody, thank you so much for bringing in your pledges, and every little bit counts. And I found some little other things at my house. This is pewter. It says love. Love is a circle. I mean, well, let's just layer that in, right? And then a little tambourine for our tambourine man, right? We love that. Okay. Now, Hadley has been helping me for 2 weeks now. Finally, show us you can do that. The hula hoop.
All right, Hadley.
All right. So Hadley, let's put these two hula hoops up. I think yours is smaller, right? Let's put yours right up. We're just going to try to make this be part of our widening circle. You see that? And then this one's a smidgen bigger. You see how that works? Because we're getting bigger. No, that one. Shh. Surprise for later. Grab a pen. Here's the number. Let's write right here. $, $, $, $. Okay, down. Yep, 2 downs. Yep, okay. 8, 9, comma. Now squeeze it in 3 digits here. 550. Don't write on the wall. Yes! $89,550 so far. Thank you so very much. And I found a little reading also I thought kind of was nice. Look at me being modern, reading right off my phone. My technology circle is widening. It says, in the circle, we are all equal. There is no one in front of you, and there's nobody behind you. No one is above you. No one is below you. The circle is sacred because it's designed to create unity. It says Lakota wisdom. So, big circles, small circles, we're widening our circle. Thank you so much. Thanks, Hadley.
We will now have the prelude.
Here we have come into this sacred space, quieter now with our readiness, hushed voices, hoping, trusting for so many things. For connection, for communion, for inspiration, for information, for healing, for wholeness, for words, for music, for celebration and consolation. Here we have come into this space bringing all of who we are. Let us be willing, however we are changed. And I now invite you, if you'd like to say hi to our friends on Zoom, to do a little wave to the camera. I think it's over there. So, hello, Zoom crowd. So good to be with you all. Last time I was at Bridgewater was actually on Zoom, so great to see you all here.
Please rise and join together with all our voices for the affirmation of our covenant, followed by the sung aspiration. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell in peace and to help one another. Opening words.
Yes, our opening words are by Viola Abbott. We are Unitarian Universalists. When we lift up our 7 principles, some of us think of them as a form of theology. But they are more important to our collective than that. They do not tell us what we should believe. They tell us how we should be. They tell us how we should act in the larger world and with each other. We are brought here today by the fact that Unitarian Universalism has fallen short of the image that was presented to the world and to many of those who embraced this religion. But we are also brought here today by the truth that Unitarian Universalism has shifted course to move toward a place of wholeness, a place that perhaps never existed for us as a denomination. It has been a long and sometimes unforgiving road to today. But we are here today because we are mindful of that past and because we have hope for the future. We want the practice of this faith to be a fulfilling manifestation of its promise. Open your hearts. Seek new ways of understanding. Come, let us worship together.
A favorite hymn. This is Answering the Call of Love. If you need the music, I don't remember the number actually, but it's in your order of service. And the words will also be up here on the screen behind me. The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim that we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Now is the time for sharing of joys and sorrows. If you'd like to come forward and light a candle and speak about why you're lighting the candle, that's fine. If you'd like to come forward and light a candle silently, that's also fine.
I'd like to invite people to settle in, close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or soften them. Beloveds, let's breathe together. Spirit of love and life, Spirit that holds us all in community, let us remember that we are not alone. With every new birth, a new member of our family, speedy recoveries and healing, the strength of community, we lift up all of those who are suffering, especially those in Ukraine and other places of violence all over the world. We lift up our queer and trans siblings who have been struck with another round of hateful legislation across the country. We lift up the beautiful spring days and the rainy ones, and there was hail yesterday at Wellesley, and it's a little bit scary because climate change is happening. But we remember that we are not alone. We are in this together. We are here right now. We are here every day answering the call of love. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the spirit of love. And we are not alone. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so.
Please sing softly with me. This is Woyaya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know it in. And we will get there, heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will.
It's now time for the offering. But I just wanted to mention that there's written little notes underneath, like the prelude and the offertory. And Tony, that's Tony's writing. So thanks for that, Tony. So the offering this month, is being shared with the Kids for Camp, I think, isn't it? Is that it there? And it's also in that same invisible section. Okay. Yeah, so kids, during the months of April and May, proceeds will go to Kids for Camp. And save some of your money for the bake sale after church, because you're going to want to buy a whole bunch of stuff there. Thank you. Thank you for giving generously.
Now I invite you to join me in another hymn. We're going to sing this together. We're going to sing it proudly. This is a song called Keep On Moving Forward. Please rise in body or spirit, and I will lead you through this. It goes like this. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Sing that with me now. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. singing loudly. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Keep on loving boldly. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna reach across our borders. 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 Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
It's a favorite of mine. Well, good morning, everyone. It is so lovely to be here, and I'm so honored I get to join you all in person this morning. This is my second time preaching in person since February of 2020, so very fun. I got to join your congregation virtually in November of 2020, and it's so nice to physically be here with you all. You have a lovely congregation. And back in the day, when I used to preach in person more often, I really like to start off with a you joke, because I think those are the funniest things ever, and most of my friends don't think they're funny at all, but you guys will all think it's funny, and I get to speak right now, so I'm going to tell you a joke. So this one is about a Unitarian Universalist, and they die, and they are, I don't know, whatever happens when you die, we don't know, but they're floating around in the ether, and they arrive at a crossroads. And there's two signs at this crossroads. There's one going to the left, and that says, "To heaven." And there's one going to the right, and it says, "To a discussion of heaven." And can you guess which one the you picked? It was the discussion. Now, I love that joke because it's funny, but also I think it points to something very unique about Unitarian Universalists, is that we love our theological debates. Challenging the dominant theological beliefs is a core part of our heritage as Unitarian Universalists. And the reason why we say that Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition. We aren't tied to any past revelation or sacred text as the be-all, end-all of our faith. We're constantly learning new truths and revising our own beliefs. And I like to use the word heretic to describe Unitarian Universalists. Heretic comes from the Greek heretikos, to choose. To choose. And for Unitarian Universalists, being heretics is a part of our history. The beginnings of both Unitarianism and Universalism emerged in America from theological disputes with Protestant Christianity. Early Unitarians and pre-Unitarians like Charles Chauncey, Henry Ware, and Theodore Parker constantly argued with other Calvinists about the ideas of human free will and predestination. And early Universalists like John Murray and Caleb Rich challenged the flaws of Protestant Christianity from another angle, convinced that salvation must be for all, not just for a select few. And both groups were ridiculed, denounced, rejected. Universalist poet Edwin Markham later wrote, "They drew a circle to shut me out. Heretic, rebel, a thing to flout, but love and I had the wit to win. we drew a circle and took them in. Heretics are the ones who are able to choose. The free thinkers, the progressive religious leaders of our faith. And we're the ones who draw the circle wider, embracing those marginalized communities that have been harmed by the status quo. Not even 2 months ago, Russian troops invaded Ukraine. And in the weeks since, thousands have been killed and millions have been displaced, leading to Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. Authoritarian groups and governments have gained confidence and political and legislative control throughout the world. Martin Luther King Jr. said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Here in the United States, over the past several years, we have also witnessed a rise of the far right, from the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017, to last year's attack on the Capitol in response to the 2020 presidential election results, to the numerous hate crimes and attacks that have been carried out in the name of white supremacy all across America. The political climate here becomes more and more polarized every day, with those in power in states like Texas and Florida doing their very best to infringe even more upon our basic human rights, to have control over our bodies, and to be who we are meant to be. Indeed, just days ago, the Alabama legislature voted to ban gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth. As UUs, I don't think we talk often enough about evil and sin, but I firmly believe that anti-transgender legislation is deeply sinful. These are trying times, my friends, and those who fail to learn history are doomed to repeat it. And the history of Unitarian Universalism is inextricably linked with our opposition to authoritarian power structures and far-right violence. The very chalice we light every Sunday is a symbol of that fight that we still continue today. Now, I grew up thinking that lighting a chalice was something that we've done for centuries, but actually the symbol and ritual of lighting a chalice only came around during World War II. And during the war, many Unitarians in the United States were very concerned with the well-being of people living in Eastern Europe. Jews, Unitarians, and other marginalized groups. And a group came together in Boston to form the Unitarian Service Committee, which is still around today as the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. And they came up with ways to help people escaping Nazi-occupied places, passing on messages, finding escape routes, raising money, working with other governments and organizations for support. But because they were a new organization and didn't have any official paperwork, it was really hard to get people to trust them and to get the help they needed. So the Unitarian Service Committee asked an Austrian artist, Hans Deutsch, to create a symbol to put on the service committee papers to help them look official. And he decided to combine a chalice, a cup, with a flame, representing the healing and holding of community along with a fire and a spirit of justice. And over the years, many Unitarian and Universalist communities all across the world started their worship services by lighting a chalice. And that's something that makes me feel at home and connected no matter where I am. And the fact that this beautiful symbol is inextricably linked to our heritage as justice seekers and risk takers and heretics, well, that makes me even more proud. I want to share with you another bit of our UU heritage, another prominent Unitarian who was involved in our faith around the time of the Second World War, James Luther Adams, a minister and theologian who visited Germany in 1935, expecting to study some of the greatest theologians of all time, but instead having to confront the rise of the Nazi regime. And Adams said that in Nazi Germany, he soon came to the question, what is it in my preaching and my political action that would stop this? It's a liberal attitude to say that we keep ourselves informed and read the best papers on these matters and perhaps join a voluntary association now and then. But to be involved with other people so that it costs, and so that one exposes the evils of society, requires something like conversion, something more than an attitude. It requires a sense that there's something wrong, and I must be different from the way I have been. I must be different from the way I have been. Sounds like something a heretic would say. Now, another Martin Luther King Jr. quote that I love is, "The moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice." And what many people don't know is that that statement was actually first declared nearly 100 years earlier by Unitarian leader Theodore Parker. Now, Parker believed that the moral arc of the universe bends toward justice. But James Luther Adams argued that we must be the ones to bend it. Now, growing up, I really didn't know anything about the Bible. There was a few stories that ended up somewhere in my consciousness, Adam and Eve, Noah and the Ark, David and Goliath. And that story, David and Goliath, is one that I'd like to share with you today. I'm sure we all have varying levels of knowledge with the story, so I will do a quick recap. So David, we started with David, who will later become King David. Spoiler alert. And he's, at this point, just known as the youngest son of the shepherd who lived in Bethlehem. And the prophet Samuel has declared King Saul unfit to rule the Israelites and declared David to be the next leader. But David still has to prove himself. Now, David's a pretty small guy. Probably not your first choice to pick in a battle. Probably not your second choice. Probably also not your third choice. But the Israelites are in battle right now against the Philistines, and it's not going well. The Philistines have this huge and fierce warrior, Goliath, and he's offered to end the battle right then and there if the Israelites will send one soldier out to fight him. And the Israelites are scared. They've been losing all these people, but still no one steps out to fight Goliath. Until one day, when David, who is still just a shepherd, is visiting the battlefield to give some bread to his older brothers, and he hears Goliath's offer. And to everyone's surprise, he decides to take it. Now, his brothers try to convince him not to go. Even King Saul tells him he's too young and he shouldn't risk it. But David explains, he's fought off lions and bears to protect his father's sheep, and finally, King Saul agrees. And he wants to give David all of his armor and weapons, but instead, David goes down to the river, picks up 5 smooth stones, and with his slingshot approaches the battlefield. And now you probably know how the story ends. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. David wins. And he ends up becoming a great king. Yay, David. But now for weeks, even months, those Israelites waited on that battlefield, fearful to move against Goliath and the Philistines. Civilians were suffering, starving, worried about their family and friends who were out fighting. And David wasn't a warrior. He didn't have to do anything. He was just bringing bread to his brothers. But he knew that he must be different from the way he had been. Those who fail to learn history are doomed to repeat it. Now, David had something else that Goliath didn't. He had faith. Now, the Christian interpretation of the story generally stops there. Through faith in God, anything is possible. Now, I know we kind of just met, but I hope you know me well enough to know that I'm not going to end there today. Some people ask me why we call our Sunday services worship services if we're not all worshiping God. And some people even reject the word worship and get angry when I refer to a UU gathering as a worship service. But that's kind of what I love about our worship services, that we're not all worshiping God. And even those of us who are worshiping different gods and ideas of God. When I think about the word worship, it's not about worshiping some greater power, but about worshiping the space that we can all be in together, worshiping our shared humanity. David may have been believing in the strength of God as he approached Goliath, but he was also putting his faith in his people, the Israelites, and his family, waiting for him to return to safety. David also had something else that Goliath didn't have, those 5 smooth stones. And as Malcolm Gladwell explains in his book, David and Goliath, Underdogs, Misfits, and the Art of Battling Giants, those stones in that slingshot wasn't just a lucky trick. David knew from his experience as a shepherd that a well-slung stone could be more powerful than any amount of human strength if he knew how to wield it. So, the story of David is not just about believing in yourself and your people, but also utilizing the tools that you have through your own experiences, learned how to wield, and doing something that no one else thought you could do. So, if we're David, what are our tools? And who is our Goliath? Theodore Parker believed that the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice. James Luther Adams believed we needed to be the ones bending it. And Adams took the story of David and Goliath and those 5 smooth stones that David carried to create the 5 smooth stones of liberal religious tradition, the beliefs about what it means to practice faith in a responsible, progressive way. And those stones are detailed in Adams's essay, Guiding Principles for a Free Faith. And they changed the way religious liberals view their theology. That essay was published in 1976, so to put that in the context of our story, 41 years after Adams originally visited Germany, 36 years after the Unitarian Service Committee was established, and 15 years after the American Unitarian Association and the Universalist Church of America merged to form the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. Unitarian Universalism is a living, breathing faith, always growing, always changing, always ready to learn more and do more. So in 2013, 37 years after Adams first shared the 5 smooth stones, religious professionals in the Mountain Desert District in the Pacific Western region got together to attempt to answer the question, what do Unitarian Universalists believe today? Of course, we have our principles, and they are wonderful. As Unitarian Universalists, we covenant to affirm and promote worth and justice and search and interdependence and all of the beautiful things that we've written out and voted on. But sometimes we need more than bylaws. We need beliefs. So somewhere in the Western United States, sometime in 2013, Reverend Nancy Bowen, Reverend Mike Morin, and other religious professionals from around the area began a conversation about a new piece of theology, something that ended up being called the 5 jagged rocks. Like the 5 smooth stones, they're tools. Tools for us to use as Unitarian Universalists to keep pushing our faith forward. The 5 jagged rocks represent a faith that is jagged and messy and broken, one full of souls tumbling along on their own paths, separate and together, apart but connected. And now I'm sure you would love to hear what these 5 jagged rocks are, so I will share them. They don't have a specific order, but I have to share them in some order, so take it with a grain of salt. We believe there is a unity that makes us one. We believe that truth continues to be revealed. We believe that all souls are sacred and worthy. We believe that courageous love can transform the world. We believe in salvation in this life. Now, I've given sermons, led small groups, taught workshops, and ranted on and on to friends about each and every one of these jagged rocks. I have my jagged rocks tattoo, #1 fan of the 5 jagged rocks. And of course, I love them personally and really resonate with them, but more importantly, they represent everything I love about Unitarian Universalism. Everything that represents my faith, our faith, at its very best. How we are always building a new way forward, centering the margins, drawing the circle wider, and being the people that this world needs us to be. A mentor of mine, Bart Frost, once described UUs as heretical saints, those who teach that all are worthy, all are loved, all is holy, and all is connected. Maybe that shouldn't be heretical, but here we are. We are a community of thinkers and seekers. We are heretical saints. We are able to choose, and we have chosen how we want to be in relationship with each other, what we draw our wisdom from, and what we believe. We are a radical, liberal, theologically rich faith. And like David, with his smooth stones bending his sling toward Goliath, we can use our jagged rocks to bend the arc of the universe towards justice. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in our closing hymn. This is my favorite, Turn the World Around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Oh, so is life. Ah, so is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Oh, so is life about you are. So is life. Oh, so is life about you are. So is life. Water make the river, river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain. Spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the Spirit, truly of the Spirit. Only can the Spirit turn the world around. Oh, so is life about you are. Ha, so is life. Oh, so is life about you are. Ha, so is life. Oh, so is life about you are. Ha, so is life. Oh, so is life about you are. So is life.
Thank you all so much for being here today and having me here with you. And I wanted to share with you again those 5 jagged rocks, really let them soak in. I'm going to change the order this time. We believe in salvation in this life. We believe that truth continues to be revealed. We believe there is a unity that makes us one. We believe that courageous love can transform the world. We believe in the 5 jagged rocks. Now, with these beliefs and all you hold true as Unitarian Universalists, go forth today, knowing that you have a part in bending the moral arc of the universe towards justice.
Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. Okay. We extinguish this flag. Until we are together again. Post-salute.
Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Is this the world you want? Is this the world you want? You're making it. Every day you're alive. Is this the world you want? Is this the world you want? You're making it. What you say is your religion. How you say it's your religion. Who you love is your religion. How you love is your religion. All your science, your religion. All your hatred, your religion. All your wars are your religion. Every breath is your religion, yeah. Is this the world you want? Is this the world you want? You're making it. Every day you're alive. Is this the world you want? Is this the world you want? You're making it.